Hey everyone, I'm Mike from theparkprodigy.com, and on today's video, we're going to break down the absolute best tips and tricks for the ultimate day over at Islands of Adventure. And if you've been watching our videos, little by little, we have been breaking down each park. We're kind of niching down to specific areas within a Universal Orlando vacation. So this video is for Islands of Adventure. So if you do plan to visit Islands of Adventure during your next Orlando trip, just be sure to stick around to the end as we are trying to get you as prepared as possible for your day in the theme parks with some of the best tips and tricks. As always, I am very excited for this video, so let's go get started. Thank you all again so much for checking out this video. Like I said, we're about to break down the best tips and tricks for Islands of Adventure Park. And we are going to start with one of the most popular aspects of Islands of Adventure Park, and that is the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, Hogsmeade. So Hogsmeade Village is the Harry Potter land section that is located in Islands of Adventure. And the tip that we're going to start out with here is as you're planning your Universal Orlando trip, and if Harry Potter is a big part of your Universal Orlando trip and you do plan to visit both parks, we want to give you kind of the vibes, right, that you're going to be feeling in both parks. Now, specifically over at Islands of Adventure, we would say to be prepared for more of a ride vibe, right, where this park really has the most rides for the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. It actually has really 3.5 rides. And the reason why I say half is that they share the Hogwarts Express that will take you, if you have the park-to-park ticket, that is, over to Diagon Alley over at Universal Studios Florida. But what we're saying is really be prepared to go on rides here. Not saying that the ambiance and the way that Hogsmeade Village isn't beautiful and really cool for pictures and stuff like that. But if we had to pick one for pictures, we would always go with Diagon Alley just because A, it's really amazing with the dragon in the background, and B, we feel like it's a little bit quieter because it doesn't have all those rides. It doesn't have the same popularity. So what we're saying is if you're looking to go on rides, Islands of Adventure is the Wizarding World of Harry Potter land for you. If you're looking for more of the laid back ambiance where the kids can run around with the interactive wands, you get the perfect pictures, we would say go over to Diagon Alley. So that's where we're starting the best tip and trick for Islands of Adventure, and kind of sticking on brand with Harry Potter. For tip and trick number 2, we would say make sure you don't miss the Hogwarts Express Castle Show. And again, like we said, there's so much going on within Hogsmeade Village that many guests might not realize that Universal actually has a Hogwarts Castle Show that goes on at night. One of the other reasons why the guests might not realize this, and I don't know why Universal hasn't fixed this yet, but there's actually no show times on the Universal Orlando website or the app. So if you're looking on the app for, the latest shows, you might not realize that there is a Hogwarts show, and that's why we're mentioning it. So the show will actually run every 20 minutes on the nights that it is going on, beginning at sunset. So what we recommend is when you show up to the parks, just ask a team member if there is any information on if a show will be running that night. And again, in our opinion, it's a really cool show. Specifically, it's on Hogwarts Castle, and something that we think every single Harry Potter fan will really enjoy. Okay, so we're switching it up a little bit and we're moving over to Marvel, and guests might be surprised to learn that Islands of Adventure is actually one of the only places where guests can enjoy Marvel rides and characters within the parks on the East Coast. Now, yes, over at Epcot, we do have Guardians of the Galaxy now, and little by little, some of the newer IP is popping up in the Disney parks, but because of an agreement that Universal Orlando had back in the day, specifically with Marvel before Marvel was bought by Disney, Universal Orlando still has the rights to many of the Marvel characters and, of course, the Marvel rides on the East Coast. So if you do have a Marvel fan in your family, Islands of Adventure is really the park that you want to be at. Now, it's important for me to note that a lot of the rides that are geared towards Marvel are, for the older kids and definitely teens, because they're a little bit more thrilling. We do have the Incredible Hulk coaster. We do have the Amazing Adventures of Spider-Man. And then, of course, we have Dr. Doom's Fearful. Now, that's not being, I think Spider-Man would probably be the kind of the middle ride, that a lot of kids would be able to go on, but the other two definitely on the thrill side. But again, just something really important to keep in mind as you're planning your Islands of Adventure day. And we're actually going to stick on the Marvel theme, moving over to the next best tip and trick, and that is Marvel character dining is back. So team up with your favorite superheroes after a day of adventures and defeat the most formidable foe of all, your empty stomach. That's directly from Universal. We're pretty corny on this channel, but we're not that corny. So yeah, this is located at the Dining Cafe 4. When you walk in, you'll see Captain America, Spider-Man, Wolverine, Cyclops, Storm, and Rogue. Now, this is no ordinary dinner. There is an experience that truly every Marvel fan will enjoy. Now, the important thing to keep in mind about the character dining for Marvel is that it's only running right now Thursday through Sunday, and it's only starting at 5 p.m. Outside of that, some of the prices that we saw on the Universal Orlando website is adults are going to start at $52.99 plus tax, and then children are going to start at $29.99 plus tax, and this is a buffet style meal. All right, so sticking with food, and we are going to jump into the next tip and trick, and that would be make sure you try to get a Myhtos reservation. Now, Myhtos was voted the best theme park restaurant, and it absolutely lives up to the hype. It might be hard to get a reservation, so we recommend trying to book one as early as possible. And really, the reason why we're bringing this up is Universal doesn't have as many sit-down restaurants in their parks as over at Disney. So when we do see a really, really good restaurant, we just want to be sure to let everyone know that you have that option to go and grab that reservation as well. All right, so moving on to the next tip and trick, and we would say ride the Seuss Landing rides at night. Now, the Seuss Landing rides can have a pretty long wait time during the day since they are the rides that mostly everyone can ride, specifically the younger kids visiting Universal. Now, we noticed that at night the wait times go down significantly, right, since most kids are usually back at the hotel. But if you plan around this and you kind of maybe get a late start to your day so the kids can sleep in, then you can take advantage of those lower wait times at night. The other really, really cool thing that we will say is the Seuss Landing rides, they have some of the best views of Universal Orlando at night. So even if you're an adult visiting, Universal and you just want a really, really unique experience, be sure to go check out the Seuss Landing rides because I don't think that you will regret that view. All right, so now moving on to our next tip and trick. And again, you'll see that Universal Orlando doesn't have as much to do for kids as over at Disney. So this is a really, really important tip and trick if you do have young kids who are coming to visit Universal Orlando. And this one is Explore Camp Jurassic. Now, this is a kids play area in the Jurassic Park section, but even if you don't have kids, it's a really cool area. My team members love jumping around just because of the photo ops back there. It's pretty easy to miss, so make sure you look out for it. And if you can't find it, just be sure to ask a team member. Okay, and then sticking on brand with Jurassic Park, if you do have a Jurassic Park fan in your family, be sure to go check out Blue, the Velociraptor. Now, that's right, very simply from the movies. This is an interactive character experience, and it's really, really cool and fun one. If you've been on Instagram or TikTok and you're looking up tips for your Universal Orlando trip, you might have seen this one just because it's such a unique experience that everyone loves it. So if you do have, like I said, Jurassic Park fans in your family, you'll be sure to take them over to Meet Blue. All right, now these are some of the tips and tricks that we've spoken about in the past if you've been watching our videos, but we would say make sure you use child swap for kids that are not tall enough and that don't want to ride a specific ride. Now, if you have young children, child swap essentially allows one parent to wait with the child while the other goes and rides. Then they switch so you don't have to miss out on any of the rides. Also, another big one that we are fans of is use the single rider line when possible. This is specifically over at Hulk, Kong, Velocicoaster, and Hagrid's Magical Creatures Motorbike Adventure. The single rider line can cut your wait time down significantly. However, your party will be split up, so it's important to note that. But if you don't mind hopping on in the single ride, it typically does move quicker, especially for the rides like Hulk and Kong. Okay, so we are a little more than halfway through this tip and trick video, and I just wanted to thank you all again so much for checking this video out. And if you are in the process of planning a Universal Orlando trip and you are finding this video helpful to this point, just be sure to go and subscribe to our channel, as we have a lot more similar videos coming out in the coming weeks to make sure you are as prepared as possible for your next vacation. But let's get back to the list. Okay, and so this is a unique one that I don't think we've ever talked about before. A lot of times, and we might talk about it in a little bit, right? We always talk about early park admission and how much we love it at the Park Prodigy. Well, that has not changed. But what if you are not taking advantage of early park admission, or you don't want to take advantage of early park admission, right? Those rides do not interest you whatsoever. What we would say here is For this reason, when you get into the park, if it's for regular park opening, go to the left. Now, again, the main reason is during early park admission, Universal is kind of, shuffling everyone to the right over to, Hogsmeade Village and over to Jurassic Park, but everyone's going to the right. So if you're showing up after early park admission and you're trying to get on the most rides as possible, let's say if early park admission is at 8 o'clock, regular park opening is at 9 o'clock, and you're showing up and rolling in at 9 o'clock, I would go to the left. So I would go over towards Marvel Superhero Island, and you'll see if you go to the left, you should be able to get on, let's say, the Hulk coaster, the Amazing Adventures of Spider-Man, head over to Kong. There should just be less people on the left side. I think it's human nature, too, to just when you walk in, right, everyone just goes right. So this is go left. If you're trying to get away from the crowds and get away from the early park admission rides, go to the left. Okay, and so the next tip and trick would be make sure you understand the limitations of the Express Pass at Islands of Adventure Park. Now, and the reason why we're bringing this up, and again, we're going to talk about it in a little bit, but there are some rides that are not included with the Express Pass, but they're specifically included with early park admission, right? So if you're trying to get on the Jurassic Park Velocicoaster or Hagrid's Magical Creatures Motorbike Adventure, understand that those two rides are not included with the Express Pass. So we don't want to see you, upgrade and spend all this money on the Express Pass and then you can't get the most out of it. So we would just say, understand that there are some limitations specifically at Islands of Adventure Park when it comes to the Express Pass, and take that into consideration as you're shopping around for theme park tickets. And moving on to the next one, speaking of theme park tickets, make sure that you do understand that you do need the park-to-park ticket to ride the Hogwarts Express ride that we spoke about a little bit earlier. So that is really, really important. Also, if you just plan to hop around, you do need that park-to-park ticket in order to do so. All right, so this next one really has to do with the time of year that you're visiting, specifically if you are visiting around the fall and when Halloween Horror Nights is going on. And one of the tips and tricks here is that Islands of Adventure will be open a little bit later than Universal Studios Florida during those nights, because the park, Universal Studios Florida has to close to host Halloween Horror Nights. So they'll keep Islands of Adventure open a little bit later. So if you are visiting during the fall and you're the type of family where you need to be in the theme parks, as long as they're open, like you have to be in a park getting on rides, then the park-to-park ticket might be a good fit for you, because once Universal Studios Florida closes, you can hop over to Islands of Adventure for a couple more hours in the parks. And again, just important to understand the different moving parts. Okay, so moving on to the next tip and trick, and we would say be prepared to get wet if you plan to go on every single ride in Islands of Adventure. And that is because 3 of the rides in Islands of Adventure are water rides. Now, we have Popeye and Bluto's Blige Rat Barges, we have Dudley Do-Right's Ripshore Falls, and we have Jurassic Park River Adventure. And there's 3 at Islands of Adventure, and there's actually none over at Universal Studios Florida. So as you can see, this is just they're 2 completely different parks, and you do have to be prepared for this, because of course there's always, I think this is such a fun topic to talk about, because I feel like it's definitely split down the middle. I personally don't like going on water rides when I'm in a regular theme park, but I have some friends that love going on the water rides, right? So you got to be prepared. Maybe bring some ponchos from home if you don't want to get absolutely soaked. Dudley Do-Rights and Popeyes, there's a very good chance that you're getting absolutely soaked. Jurassic Park, it's hit or miss depending on where you sit. So I guess that's another tip and trick in itself. You can ask the team members specifically for Jurassic Park where you have the least possible chance of getting wet, or if you do want to get wet, where you have the best possible chance of getting soaked. But just be prepared. And taking it to our next tip and trick, we would say, be prepared for the water rides if you're going on them. Dress accordingly. Wear comfortable shoes, right? Regardless if you're going on the water rides or not. But if you're going on the water rides, try to wear shoes that can get wet and you could still walk around all day. Now, Islands of Adventure, there's a lot of walking, specifically compared over to Universal Florida. It's kind of like one big circle if you want to get from the front to the back of the park, and you're pretty much going to be walking around all day. So again, we recommend to wear comfortable shoes. From my understanding, I'm doing it wrong. A lot of folks just wear Crocs because, again, you kind of solve both. You can go on the water rides, you can walk around comfortably all day. So that's something that I'm a little late to the game, but that is that tip and trick. And now moving on to the next one, and we've been talking about this one a lot, but this really, I guess this has to do with all Universal Orlando parks, and we would say be prepared for motion sickness. Now, Universal has a lot of rides that can make you motion sick, specifically specifically because there are a lot of screen rides like the Forbidden Journey, Spider-Man, Kong, that you can get motion sickness on. Now, even the Velocicoaster and Hagrid sometimes, because of how quick they're moving, might not be the best fit for everyone. So we're just saying be prepared for that. Bring Dramamine from home, right? Just know that going into your day in the parks. All right, and so moving on to the next one is, as you could see, there are so many rides, and this is there's really cool niches going on within Islands of Adventure, the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, Jurassic Park, Marvel. There's a lot to do in this park. It's probably the most popular Universal theme park in the world right now, just because of how many amazing thrill rides and stuff like that they have. So we would say make sure you have a game plan going into your day. And again, we've talked about this a lot on our channel, but with a park plan, you can save so much time by not having to stop and figure out what you're going to do next, right? You have everything planned out for your day, and you can pretty much just allow the day to run so much more smoother. And if you do need help with park plans and stuff like that, that's exactly what we would love to help you out with. You could just go and check out theparkprodigy.com. And if you do need a little additional help making those park plans for your next Universal Orlando vacation, you can actually join our newsletter, and we will give you some free pre-made park plans to take and kind of be a starting point for your Universal Orlando days. All right, so moving on to the next best tip and trick for Islands of Adventure. And if you're watching, again, you all knew that we were going to talk about early park admission eventually, but yes, we are finally here. And we would say, again, as you could see, a lot going on in this park. If you can use early park admission, we highly suggest to use early park admission, specifically for the Velocicoaster and for Hagrid's Magical Creatures Motorbike Adventure. Now, the other cool thing too is if you don't have any intention on going on this ride, or let's say you have younger children in your group, you can of course check out Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey and Flight of the Hippogriff as well. And then let's say at 9 o'clock, if you want to go over to the other park, you can hop on the Hogwarts Express. But we really think that a lot of the questions we get, especially when we're helping clients, is Universal going to have both parks open for early park admission? And sometimes during the year, they do have both parks open for early admission, but sometimes they don't. Sometimes it's just one park for early park admission. They always have one park open, but it depends on which park they're going to have open. We would say if you had to pick between which park you're better off using early park admission at, we would always lean towards Islands of Adventure, just because we feel like you're going to get a better head start on your day by getting Hagrid's out of the way early and getting the Velocicoaster out of the way early. And another thing that it's very important for me to note is that when we say you take advantage of early park admission, I really, really mean if early park admission starts at 8 o'clock and City Walk opens up at 7 o'clock, we need you to be at City Walk at 7 o'clock to really, really get the most out of your day. Because what will happen is the parks won't even be open yet, but you can go and you'll wait to get into the park. And we talked about this on our Instagram recently. A lot of folks will say, well, I'm still waiting an hour to get into the park. Yes, but the park's not open yet. So in our, the way we look at it is, would you rather wait when the park's not open and you're not, paying for those hours, you're not missing on going on other rides? Or would you rather wait once the park opens and, you're essentially missing going on other rides? So we think it's better to wait when the park's not open. And then we just did this recently, and Crystal from my team, actually, I was kind of doing it to test some stuff out. I only went on Hagrid's, but Crystal from my team, she showed up at 7 o'clock, waited on the line for an hour. She got onto Hagrid's, the Velocicoaster, and Flight of the Hippogriff, I think within 35 minutes, which is crazy. And I'm not saying it's going to be like that for every single, vacation, or every single time of year. It might be different, but you could see the benefit of if you show up and you're some of the first guests in the park, you're just going to get one ride out of the way, like immediately. And then at that point, you're kind of just playing with house money. So that's, again, it's a long way for me to get to the point, but there's a lot of moving parts. And that's, we always say, take advantage of early park admission when you can. And our number one tip and trick for Islands of Adventure is, if you are using early park admission, always go to Hagrid's first. Controversial tip, but we just think the pros outweigh the cons. We would just get Hagrid's out of the way as quickly as possible, especially if you're showing up, like we said, when City Walk opens up. Just get it out of the way. It's not going to be a long wait. And then the rest of your day will be set up so much smoother, because you won't have to worry about, this line could potentially be an hour and a half to 2 hours later in the day. You just got that out of the way. You don't have to worry about that. You get the best ride out first, and then you can worry about all the other amazing rides that you do want to go on. Okay, so that is the video, everyone. Those are some of the best tips and tricks for your day over at Islands of Adventure Park. We are going to be working on another one for your day over at Universal Studios Florida very, very soon. So like I said, if you are in the process of planning a Universal trip, just be sure to subscribe to our channel so you get the latest and greatest Universal tips, tricks, breaking news, all that good stuff as it comes out. Thank you all again so much for checking out this video. If I missed any tips and tricks and you guys are Universal Islands of Adventure vets, be sure to leave it in the comment section so everyone else who watches this video can check that out. I think that's all the time we have for today. Until next time, I will talk to you soon.